Alex, point gained or 2 points lost?
Bit of both, JP, to be fair. I think very pleased in the way we got back into the game, because I thought first half we certainly deserved something from it. I thought we did some good stuff first half. Second half, with them getting a goal relatively early on, it was about our character, and I thought our character was outstanding tonight to get back against a team like Tiverton. Big size, they could be doing well in this league this year. I think you look through their team, two big strong centre halves, Illy in midfield with Steely. They played a lot of games at a better level, and two lively centre forwards. I thought we coped with them pretty well, really. The quick lad got free down the right hand side, and he did have a bit of gas, but it's a great finish from their lad, and I don't mind being beat by decent finishes. I just said to the lads in there, if we'd have lost 1-0 and we'd huffed and puffed like we would, I wouldn't have had a problem, because I think second half, last 20-25 minutes especially, I think it was all credit to us that they suddenly went 4-5-1. Their manager came on, they went 4-5-1 just with one up top, and I thought that says to me that they're just holding on for a point. So I was quite pleased.
Yeah, it was very difficult conditions, and it was very difficult to play any sort of football with that driving wind and the rain. So I thought the lads performed very well, actually. I thought there were some very good individual performances.
Yeah, there were throughout. I mean, it like you say, it wasn't the best night. Not the most conducive night to passive football, and especially I said to somebody like Sam Avery, who's coming up front tonight, to do a job and do what he did physically was excellent, because it helped Elliot no end, and Elliot ran his socks off again and through the midfield again. I thought generally we looked quite solid, and realistically Jimmy didn't have a massive amount to do. The worst things he had to do was probably the back passes on the surface like it was, and it was slippy and horrible, and it was going to be a mistake. So thankfully we didn't really make that mistake.
No, he did make that one outstanding save in the second half at this end.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And it was a very good reflex save. He was more or less on this side, on the left-hand side of the goal, and he managed to turn it around.
Yeah, that's what Jimmy's got. I mean, he's got quality, and we've seen that already. And that's at the end of the day, he's a goalkeeper, and that's what he's paid to do. He's made those sorts of saves. But yeah, tonight it was a bit different with his kicking first half. But again, it was very difficult conditions, and you give him that one because it's a night for that.
Because that's something he's normally very good at.
It is.
His distribution is normally pretty good.
But I think on a scale of things, like you say, very happy with the point, because it's it shows how far we've come. Because I think 6 months ago, 7, 8, 9 months ago, we'd have maybe caved in then and given away a silly goal near the end, or lost it 2-0, maybe 3-1. But actually to come back, and it was gritty. It was decent.
Sam, like you said, had to do a job up front tonight. James Verchese and Carl Brown didn't pass muster, as it were. Anything to worry about there long term?
Yeah, well, not long term. I don't think. I just think it's just great to try and look after him. I mean, with James, he certainly wouldn't have played tonight, and he might be fit 60-40 maybe for the weekend. We won't know. Again, the next 24 hours will probably tell us quite a lot whether we can run on it. With Carl, I'm hopeful that he's going to be ready for Saturday. We could have thrown him in tonight and could have chanced our arm, but realistically it's about me, Steve and Dean making sure that we can rotate what we've got, and also make sure that they're not out for 3, 4, 5 weeks, because if I lose those two for 3, 4, 5 weeks, it makes a big difference to our season. And it was more sort of erring on the side of caution tonight, in the fact that we didn't throw Carl in specifically, and hopefully he'll be back for Saturday. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Sure. A couple of pretty nasty looking injuries during the game as well, both in the second half. Lee Smith was carried off.
Yeah.
And Mids had a pretty nasty smash to the face, in which I believe he fouled the shot.
Yeah, it's surprising for me that I can't see that one. I mean, for Lee Smith, I think the first header was Keith Hill he went in for, and he hit the deck there pretty hard, and it was a clash of heads. And then it was sort of compounded by the fact he then went in with the centre half. I think he got either a kicking on the floor, or as he's hit the floor, it was one of them where he's banged it again. He wasn't in great shape. I've just seen him now though, and I think he's going to be okay. Again, just precaution with him really. He's got to stay awake for the next few hours, and hopefully the concussion will be okay, so he will be all right for Saturday. Against fingers crossed with him. With Mids, I just couldn't see how that wasn't a penalty again. He got the good side of the centre half, and he was sandwiched between the two, and it looked to me like one of them just forearmed him out. From where I was, it seemed pretty blatant. But again, I'm not going to sit here and criticise referees, because I know it's a difficult job tonight. But that wasn't the best decision. I think it would have been one of their. It takes a bit to give the second penalty. To be fair, but at this level, that's the difference between us getting 3 points and not.
I think you saw the reaction behind the goal. It was pretty of the people who actually saw that. They could not believe.
Well, I think the centre half couldn't believe he got away with it. Yeah. To the point where Mids has got a head full of claret, and he's coming off with no. It's a foul against him. It's just surprising. I couldn't see the logic, but.
I don't know if you're
Hey-ho.
aware, Alex, their physio was a big thanks to his...
Yeah, no, it was excellent. He came into the dressing room at the end as well to do some tests with Lee Smith, because Alice had her hands full with. Yeah, it was a busy night for her, to be fair, tonight. And
Absolutely.
yeah, all credit to them.
And I think he's a qualified paramedic.
Yeah, he is, and he was on straight away, and he helped out no end. So yeah, many thanks to him for
just
that.
bought him a drink. So
that's
yeah,
it's good value.
So going forward to Saturday, obviously the injuries might be a worry. This is a big game for us coming up.
Yeah.
Have you got any thoughts coming up?
Thoughts? We're 3 unbeaten. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Again, I said to the lads 3 games ago now about the Aberdeen game. You know, we got a draw there. We could have won that. Could have nicked it. And we're building all the time, because you know, like I say, in months gone by, and then last year maybe we'd have caved in there and conceded late on, and we might have caved in tonight. And you know, those 5 points out of 3, you know, still unbeaten in 3 games, and it's little building blocks for the lads now, making sure that we can kick on from there and have a bit of stickability and a bit of resilience, and certainly had that tonight. But we've got to have that in abundance again on Saturday, regardless of the 11 or 15, 16 that I put out on Saturday. We've got to have that against a team like Poland, because I think I'm right in saying since they lost here in the league, they haven't lost yet. They haven't lost since. You know, they've gone 2nd or 3rd in the league. Yeah. They're on the crest of the wave. Yeah. They'll fancy their chances coming here because they beat us in the Red and Shore Cup 2-0. So for us, it's a big game, because it's a point to prove, to see how far we've come, to actually try and beat a team like that in the trophy, this stage of the trophy, to go on and get a result there. Okay. And I'm hopeful we do that. Again, injuries, you know, injuries see, and we've got to just see what we've got. Come Thursday or Friday, I'll have, you know, tomorrow or Friday, I'll have a good idea of where we are. And we'll go with what we've got, and we'll give it our best shot. And like I said, I've said to the boys already, it was always going to be a big week. Saturday, Wednesday with Tiverton coming, and then a big trophy game. And it's just to tell the lads to make sure they know what the trophy means, because for a club like us and the exposure they can get when they get a little run in it, it's fantastic. You know, like I said, I'm fortunate enough to be to the final in the thing, and it's great when you get on a bit of a run in that, because you know, it just helps out, and it's also a nice breather from the league, if I'm honest.
Yes, absolutely.
In the fact that we've had a busy schedule. What are we now, a quarter way through the season, just over. Probably sat in 7th or 8th tonight, and you know, it's a good start, and it just gives us a little bit of respite.
Alex, thank you very much for your time.